Louisiana beer reviews. Recorded at Mathern Supermarket, La Place, Louisiana. New Belgium Summer Helles, introduced in 2014 for the summer season. This lager beer, brewed in Colorado, is 5% alcohol, like Budweiser, for instance, and Coors Banquet. But it has 31 international bitterness units, quite unlike Budweiser and Coors, which are only around 12 bitterness units. They use pale and shill pills, barley malt, I've never heard of shill pills. Target, Tettnang, and Hallertau are the hops. It gets a good score on Beer Advocate. Bros haven't tried it yet. 46 out of 100 rate beer, not the greatest score, but a 93 out of 100 for the style. So what is that telling you? I've noticed this a lot. They tend not to like lager beers on rate beer. So you'll notice a low score, but then in the style, it will be very high. In the style. Okay, let's check it out. See some smoke. Now a lot of times I can see that, but then when I look at the playback before I upload the video, it's not detectable on video. Oh, what a pale, and what does Helles mean? Bright in German. And this is bright and pale and straw colored and very bubbly in this Anheuser-Busch tasting glass. A thin whitehead, but I suspect it would be much thicker in a taller glass. Let's go with the aroma. Here at 6:45 a.m. Well, it smells like a lager beer. Sweet, malty, not that different from the other two that I described, Budweiser and Coors Banquet. Although those are made with adjuncts, Budweiser using rice, Coors Banquet using rice and corn. This does not use adjuncts. So it's a good smelling beer, but nothing remarkable, or you haven't, if you're familiar with drinking beer. The aroma is nothing that you haven't encountered before. Let's go with the flavor. Okay. Sweet, malty, grainy. More or less a standard lager beer flavor. The bitterness is there, but I don't notice that it is that hoppy. Okay, 31 IBUs, I would have never guessed that. And a lot of times that number is deceiving. You've probably noticed that too. It'll say it's such as, I've had beers that are 102 IBUs and they'll tout it. You can't handle it, it's too hoppy. Beware. And then you drink it and you're thinking, it's not that bitter. Even if it's fresh, sometimes that'll be the case. The hops haven't faded, they're just not there. So this one, I don't think anybody, a pedestrian beer drinker, would think it's too bitter. Like say, a Coors Light drinker. There's a little lemony aspect, a little bit. The mouthfeel is medium, and the finish is on the dry side. It's refreshing, and the drinkability is very high. Well, the aftertaste is very biscuity. I don't know what to say about this. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, it tastes good. There's no off flavors. There's nothing wanky or wrong about it. I'll get back to that in a minute. Here is a New Belgium Folly. It's a 12-pack. You'll see them everywhere. Price about $14.99. And you got your typical New Belgium beers: Fat Tire, Ranger, Snapshot, and Blue Paddle. I haven't had the Blue Paddle, a Pilsner. Well, that probably wouldn't taste much different than what I just had. And then a 2006 Revival beer, Skinny Dip, which I'm not familiar with either, but apparently some kind of summer beer. And you'll notice they have it in the old New Belgium bottle design, label design. So that's an interesting little throwback. beer. It's nice to see them do that. But back to this Summer Helles. While I'm saying it's very good, it tastes good, you could even say, hey, I'll say it's an A-, it's excellent. At the lower end of excellent, but hey, that's still really good. An A- beer, can't go wrong with that. But to qualify it, if I reviewed Budweiser or Coors Banquet at 5% alcohol, I would probably rate those around the same, or A-. Those two aren't that, they're not appreciably different in flavor than this one. So, you know where I'm going with that. You start buying beer and you got to take price. You have to, you don't have to, but many people will bring price considerations into the whole buying experience. So you can decide how you want to handle that. Now, a lot of times there'll be a controversy. I'll bring in controversy towards myself with what I'll say about beers. Like, I'm saying it's not appreciably different than Budweiser or Coors. I don't think it is. I took a lot of heat when I said that I'm gonna stick with the A-. I was talking about the Fuller's Vintage Ales. I had 4 of them, 2010, 11, 12, 13. Fantastic beers. A all the way, solid A all the way, wonderful. They were very strong though, so I drank them a little too close to each other, and so there was some little, inebriation issues there. But I could recognize that was the case, and I had trouble enunciating what I wanted to say. It took me 15 minutes to make a 1-minute statement. But the whole point I was trying to make was sound, and I was saying that while the Vintage Ale was fantastic, it wasn't appreciably better than, and I was pointing out Schlitz VSL, very smooth lager, which is very similar in ABV. And people were saying, oh, he's crazy, how can you say that? How can you say that? Well, easy. There are a lot of similarities. Although Schlitz VSL is a lager, Vintage Ale is an ale, obviously. I thought there were a lot of similarities in some of the flavors, body, mouthfeel, overall experience with those two. And I was saying that price had to be taken into account, and that's the point I was trying to make, that it wasn't appreciably better. Yeah, probably better, not appreciably better. And I'm not going to get up here and just lie, make up stories to avoid controversy or whatever. And that's what I'm saying with this one. It's better than Budweiser and Coors, maybe. It's certainly not appreciably better. So if it's better than those two, it's by just a hair. So I don't know what else to say about it. I like it, but you gotta consider those other factors. Anyway, excited to see this here. Wasn't even here the last time I was in the store. So, Laissez-le bon temps rouler. This is an excellent beer. There's no argument about it. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to Matherne's in LaPlace, Louisiana, and check out their varied and quite often changing beer selection.